Hi there everyone and welcome to this video. I'm really excited to show you our main new feature of ADAPT version 2020.1, which is called, as we can see here, On Behalf Of. Now this particular feature is going to help out a lot of our clients using the ADAPT system. And why this has been introduced is to help ADAPT users attribute activities that are run in the system to another user if required. Now, this is really ideal for all of our clients using the system that are, for example, search and selection, or any companies that do not work in that typical 360 approach, where they might have a team of people that work alongside the consultant, for example, maybe administrators, resources, and/or account managers that run activity and want that activity to be listed and reported under the only consultant name and not their own. So ADAPT has typically works that the user that is logged in and runs the workflow gets that activity attributed to their name. Now, the default settings in the ADAPT system for all clients will remain the same, and it is set the way it's always been set. So it will just continue working as it always has. But there'll be an option to go and change that setting, that when you run an activity in, say, for example, a job record, it will then default that activity to be logged against the owner of that record instead of the person running that workflow. What's great is you have a lot of flexibility. So no matter which way it's defaulted, you can always change who the activity is going to be logged to. And you'll see that for yourself shortly. So when we're speaking about activity, what we really mean is, or the most important thing people really care about, are the KPIs that are recorded in the ADAPT system. So we're shortly going to go and take a look at where the on behalf of attribution can be used. So as you can see here, we're going to look at several other things as well as where it can be used. We'll take a look at how it's changed the filtering in the studios, the KPI dashboard, and the reports. I've also sneaked in here, it's not necessarily specifically linked to the on behalf of, but I am going to show you that we've got a new report while we're in the report section, just because it's fantastic, called the job activity by user, which I think I'm going to love. And finally, for any of you that have the admin rights in the ADAPT system, I will show you at the end how you can change the default in the system. So before I start showing you where you can start using this feature, just to mention that every single place that you can use this and workflows that are affected will all be listed in one of the articles that go alongside this webinar. So if you look in the help portal near this video, you'll be able to see there are different articles in there, and one of them will list all the different activities is listed too. Now, for those of you that use the KPIs a lot, so you're really focused on making sure you're running those workflows and logging actions that you're doing in the system, you're really already going to know where the main activities are that the ADAPT reports on. But in addition to that, like I say, the article will show a lot of extra things like unbooking candidates from jobs. It also will look at and link to extensions, sending letters. So really the majority of actions that are covered and this workflow is going to link to. So it is a major part of the system. So we're currently in a job, as you can see here, and we can see the permanent job is owned by Alan. As we can see up here, my name's Michelle and I am the logged in user. So Alan has been working on this job. He's asked me to go in to the CV sent section, and he's got a couple of candidates where their CV's been sent over to the client, and they've both been successful. So he's also asked me to then arrange in interviews with the client. So as I tick these here and run the interview workflow, and so this, you'll be thinking, I do this all the time. I know what's going on here. But just to show you in here, we've now got this new field, which is on behalf of. Now, as I mentioned at the start, the system is still defaulted to run and log the on behalf of action as the name of the logged in user. So as I'm the person that's logged in, I'm the person running it, it's going to log that activity on my behalf. And if that's what you want it to do, then that's fine. But as I'm working alongside Alan, he's asked me, and I know that as we workers, we want that activity to be logged under his name because he is the owner of the job. So I can quite easily go in here, type in Alan's name, click on search, click on his name there, and as you can see, it's now going to log that activity attributed under his name. So as I confirm that, that's arranged that for me. So let me just show you what the journal looks like, because this will make it quite clear. So if we go into the journal record of the job, what you're seeing here is the interviews that have been arranged here linking to the two candidates. The journal will correctly show that I am the person that has done that in the system. So if you've got two ways you're going to be able to report going forward. Oh, very busy today. You'll be able to report either on the person who ran the action or the person who it was attributed to. So there's still a way of getting a report that shows that I did that action, but can you see here I've attributed to Alan, so I can also report on him getting the activity, and I'll show you that as well. So before I do, just to show you, there's so many things it's going to be featured again. So if I go into there for like log a phone call, for example, you can see again, you're going to have in there on behalf of, and that can be amended. I could go to create a new company. And that's again, got that in here. Same if you're going to log phone calls, you're going to send emails, shortlisting, everything that you do in the system, the key things you do, you're going to have that in there. So if you are a company who always wants it, instead of it defaulted to me, the logged in user, you might want it set the other way around. So you can choose to have the default set the other way around, that when I'm clicked into Alan's record and doing an action, it will instead default to his name as the owner. And again, I'm going to show that a bit later. So now we've seen how it works and you're getting an understanding of what it's there for. If we go to My Adapt, we're going to take a look at the studios and the KPI dashboard. So let's go to the KPI dashboard first of all. So this is looking very much the same as normal. So you can go and select what period you want to look at. You can go and look at the consultant you want to review. But the fantastic new tool we've got in here is this. You can either look at who ran the activity or who the activity was attributed to. So if we do who ran the activity first and do my name, we can see down here, client interviews arranged is 2 against me because I'm looking at who ran the activity and I am the person that ran it. So that's the way I was choosing to report. If you want to report the other way and you want to see things, who the activity was attributed to, can you see now that is no longer under my name in there? But if I go and find Alan's name in here, you can see now client interviews arranged is 2. So that's gone under both my name and his name, but it just depends which way you're choosing to report. Do you want to see who ran the activity or who it was attributed to? So you can see how it can keep your reports running accurately to see who's actually working in the system, but who is getting that activity attributed to them. And it's very much the same throughout the system. So if we now go to the studios, and you can see here, I'm in the revenue and activity one, and we're looking at the activity versus target. So I'm not going to show you too much in here, but just to point out, again, you've got the same options in here to filter by. So great, you've got that in there. And of course, as you'd expect, you've also got it in the reports. So if we go down here to, for example, phone call analysis report, again, you can choose how you want to report the activity in the system. Now, as I mentioned, I was feeling generous in this webinar, so I thought I'd show you, we've got a new report in here, which is the job activity by user. So it's not necessarily specifically linked to the on behalf of course, it's affected by that, but I thought you'd want to see this. So you can go into a specific date range in here and look at all your jobs. I'm going to filter by my job, or if you wanted to review just a specific job and the activity on that job, you could add in the job title here and search for it and find just that job. So I put in my date range, I put who ran the activity, so I want to see things that I've run in the system. and going to confirm. So I can see all the CVs that I've sent in here, myself, that I've sent them, and the owner of the job. You can see all interviews arranged, doing a lot for Alan. And you can see jobs created, split into contract and perm, and you've got open jobs currently, offers made, placements, and as long as you're putting your figures in, you'll get your actual revenue in there as well. Plus, you even got a summary at the bottom. So I think you're going to, as consultants particularly, or maybe managers as an overview, I think you're going to really love this report. So the last thing I wanted to show you was how you can change the setting in the system. So this is directed really at anybody that's an administrator. So you'd go to your settings cog, to profile, and what you will be selecting is the Adapt Manager profile. For myself, I'm going to show you a different way. I'm going to go to the admin profile. So anyone that's an administrator will recognize these are your additional tabs. So if you go to admin and to application settings and edit, if we scroll down, you can see this is our brand new setting. So default the attribution of activity to the owner where possible. So as it suggests in the way it's written, if you put no, it's not going to attribute it to the owner of the job. It's going to actually put it automatically, as you've seen, to the person's name who's running the activity and who's logged in. But for those of you that want to change that to be the other way around, let's go to yes. That is now when I run an action, it's going to put in the on behalf of field, it's going to put the owning consultant's name of that record. Let's go back and show you what I mean. So let's go back to core profile here. So if I go into one of my contacts records here, and I go to, actually, let's go back to that job we were working on here. So I'm in the job, same as before. Alan's the owner, as we know. And if we go to log a phone call, see how now the on behalf of field, instead of having my name, and I've got to manually change it to Alan, it's automatically put his name in because he is the owning consultant of that job. Now, if you don't have anyone that's an administrator in your company, if you contact client services, they can change that setting default for you. So thanks for watching the video. I've been really excited to show you our on behalf of feature, and hopefully for most of you out there, it's going to really help you report a lot better in the system, and you've got various options as you've seen.